Have you ever wondered about heaven? Does it even exist? And if so, how do you get there? As a child, I first recall hearing about heaven in the readings from the Catholic Mass. Over time, I pieced together some ideas of how it seemed to work according to my family's church. Yet, it just never made any sense to me. Why did some people get to go and other people didn't? And how did just getting baptized and taking communion every week make someone better than someone who wasn't baptized or didn't take communion? Then in my early teens, I learned about other religious beliefs, religions where there were different ideas about who was going to heaven and how. I decided that the whole thing was a bunch of nonsense, and I shelved the notion of heaven in the back of my brain under not enough information to make a rational assessment. In my late teens, when I was having my near-death awakening experience, I learned that heaven isn't some mystical place up in the clouds waiting for us in the afterlife, like some kind of reward that people get for just patiently serving out their time here on earth. Heaven isn't some gift that only one race of people gets to experience. Heaven isn't a reward for simply doing good deeds, although doing good deeds is a worthwhile endeavor. And there aren't any specific religious practices necessary to get into heaven, no matter what anyone attached to any particular religion may say or think. I was shown that heaven is available right here, right now. What has been called paradise, or the kingdom of heaven, is simply a result of a state of being. It is an internal mindset that we're all free to move into along our evolutionary journey. Just as you can get yourself out of a state of hell if you don't wish to reside there anymore, you also have the freedom to choose to reside in an internal state of consciousness that creates what is known as heaven. Attaining this mindset requires making the free will choice to make the paradigm shift from living in the fear-based right-wrong reality into living in the loving on absolutely every level of being. Just like getting into hell is an inside job, so is getting into heaven. It isn't something that is magically going to happen to you or to anyone else. You have to want it. And then you have to do whatever it takes to get yourself there. In other words, you have to put in the effort in order to merit the reward. The state known as heaven is an outpicturing of the internal state also known as Christ consciousness or the Christos. Christ consciousness is the highest state of being available to us currently in this human form. Anyone who chooses joy and freedom over misery and suffering and embraces unity for all forms of life has the ability to achieve this level of enlightenment. Heaven is a reflection of perfect inner peace, living in harmony with God, acceptance of all that is, living in harmony with God, humankind, and nature. We will create this state as a collective as soon as enough individuals do the internal work necessary to up-level and begin to reside in the state of Christ consciousness. Don't worry about how that part will manifest. Your first priority is to get yourself into alignment with the will of your own soul. As you become more conscious, you will naturally begin residing in higher and higher states of being until you gradually move into Christ consciousness. Know that not only is attaining this state doable, it is absolutely your birthright to live in it. For today, I invite you to take a look at any old or limiting beliefs that you may have had about heaven. What did you hear about heaven as a child? What did you see modeled? What beliefs did you take on from others? What conclusions did you make about yourself based on the beliefs that you took on? Take a moment and just allow whatever is in your consciousness to just surface. If you've been holding on to any fear, any judgment, or any limiting beliefs around the concept of heaven, I encourage you to just flood yourself with compassion. Just let these old ideas go. Create some new, empowering beliefs for yourself. Creating a state of heaven is an inside job. Say, if I want to experience a state of heaven, I can get there by raising my own consciousness. Action step. Claim that a state of heaven is an inside job. Say, if I want to experience a state of heaven externally, I can get there by raising my own consciousness internally. Christ consciousness is attainable for me. Many blessings of joy and vibrant freedom.